Thank you for joining Wars of the Rosies as we continue with part 16, Woman of Tomorrow, from A Rosicrucian Speaks by Joseph J. Weed. Woman of Tomorrow, Detroit, September 1957. In all lands, among all people, and in all times, from the earliest recorded to the present day, can be found the concept of the Mother of the World. The oldest literature in China sings of her as the quick to aid, and as she of the 100 hands and the 1,000 eyes. There has been found a cult dedicated to her in the ancient city of Kish, and we of the Western world see her as the Madonna, the Mother of Christ. In the simple and beautiful way the people weave thoughts about the beings they revere and love, a legend has been consecrated to the Mother of God. The Apostle Peter, keeper of the gates of paradise, was disturbed and he brought his worry to the Lord. All day long he said, I watch at the gates of paradise and admit only those who have been approved. Yet each morning there are newcomers in paradise I have never before seen. And the Lord said, let us go together and make the rounds at night, Peter. And so they went, and late that night they saw the Holy Mother lowering along the wall, her snow-white scarf up which souls were climbing. Peter took this to heart and wanted to interfere, but the Lord whispered, shh, shh, let it be, let it be. Whether she appears in the image of Kuan Yin, the merciful, or in the bright-colored mantle of the Madonna, the great Mother of the world is known and loved and revered in every land and by every people. Today it is fitting that we should pay her special homage, for she is the universal symbol of womanhood, and we are now entering the age of woman. Strength is being given to all women, power comes increasingly to their hands, and breadth of vision to their understanding. Today women are struggling successfully to a position of equality with men, but tomorrow, in the inevitable swing of the pendulum, they will excel and in many cases dominate. But this resurgence, this growth in consciousness and power is not easy. The new energies pouring into and onto the planet and through all life associated with this world are bringing special qualities to all women. When you pause long enough to appreciate yourselves, you women are aware of new life, new strength, and new energy in your veins. You are conscious of new competence in your abilities and new courage to stand for what you feel is right and just. Yet, like all energies, these work impersonally through all your vehicles, stimulating and strengthening wherever there is a response. Thus, you are experiencing pain and heartache too. Your lives have been sped up and events come upon you with greater rapidity. Hardly has one crisis been resolved when another threatens. You frequently find yourself almost torn asunder by being pulled in two opposite directions at once, unable to decide which obligation must be met and trying to satisfy both. You find yourselves in the middle between your husband and your children, or between your work and your family, or between the Rosicrucian order and some other demand on your interest and time. Indecision plagues you and depletes your powers, and you pray for light and the courage to follow the path the light shows to you. These are the problems faced by the women of today, particularly women like yourselves who have developed to the point where you are consciously endeavoring to speed up your spiritual growth and advancement. All expansion is achieved by the larger displacing the smaller, the higher displacing the lower, the better displacing the worse. But this process of displacement can be painful, particularly when it involves the elimination and replacement of some of your most cherished habits of thought and conduct, and some of your most deeply seated ideas and desires. The impulse is there, the urge is forcing you onward, and when you temporarily balk and dig in and refuse to do what you know you should do, you become unhappy. In the confusion and indecision which follow on these little rebellions, you become easily tired and everything you set your hand to seems to go wrong. This is the soul's way of getting you back on the track, by withdrawing its energy from you until you become depleted, physically and emotionally. Then when you have finished feeling sorry for yourself, the mind begins to stir. You start to think instead of to just feel and react. Light begins to pour in. You see clearly what should be done and with high courage set about doing it. This then, the soul recognizes and rushes to support you with new energy. Thus, the cycle starts over again. In this, my dear sisters, you see the reason for the ups and downs you experience, for the periods of stimulation and of exhaustion, the periods of confidence and sureness of action, as opposed to the subsequent doubt and indecision. You are being trained and conditioned as an athlete is trained, so that you might successfully meet and handle the great responsibilities that will come to you today and tomorrow. One woman, inspired and seeing clearly into the future, has this to say, and I quote her: "If only we could unite, we the women, old, young, mothers, wives, friends, the happy ones and the lonely ones. If only we were to grind ourselves and take up arms against darkness and evil to help all humanity. We shall save the earth. We shall transform life. How much we can do. We shall cast ugliness and vulgarity out of our everyday life. And we shall invite beauty to come as a guest into our homes. We shall sweep away the dust and the spider webs, not only from the corners of our houses, but also from our relationship, words, thoughts, in order that our spirits might breathe more easily. We shall think not only of the food we prepare, but also that there be no poison for the spirit. Let us cast out the poison of quarrels and slander. Let us shrug off the habit of worry and fear, and give an honored place at our table to laughter and joy. If we unite in this purpose, we, the women, shall save the earth." Think about these words of one dedicated woman, a woman who, when she spoke, could see clearly into the future and recognize the great and glorious destiny which awaits womanhood in the world of tomorrow. For the golden age must be ushered in by women. When she is ready and has taken the necessary preparatory steps, then and then only will it manifest. For this age, looked forward to so eagerly for so long, can only come into being when the world is in balance, or almost so. And one of the greatest causes of imbalance is the inequality of rights and privileges between the sexes. This must be changed all over the world, as it is in the process of being changed here in this country. And when woman is truly looked upon as the equal of man, with equal right and equal responsibilities, this balance between the sexes will create a stabilizing influence which will affect all phases of life and open the door to that wonderful period of peace, happiness, and plenty, which is referred to as the golden age. But nothing is ever quite simple, nor do the various changes in the development of the planet occur sequentially. Many steps must be taken simultaneously in order that the aura of our planet may be purified and prepared for the return of the Christ. Thus, while the recognition of woman is progressing, woman herself must help in a different arena. I refer to the need for a conscious striving for beauty and peace. These must start in everyday life and must be manifested first in the home. Each wife and mother is supreme in her own dominion, the home. She makes the home, let her therefore bring beauty and peace into her home, and may she then expand the boundaries of her own heart to encompass the hearts of the entire world. Thus will peace come to the world, for peace is not a state of being which comes to one by accident. Peace is a very positive feeling like love, which can be induced by conscious striving. It must be sought after and brought into manifestation in one's own being first. You must anchor it in your personality, so to speak. And when the feeling of peace is strong and sure within you, you may then expand it to encompass the others in your household. But it must be held very positively and very strongly, and no disturbing outside influences can be permitted to touch or mar the flawless clarity of the peace you create. In this manner is peace created in the home and you. The wife and mother are the one person who is capable of establishing peace in your home. And when a sufficient number of you women unite in peace, the whole world will be at peace. Beauty in the home is important. Not wealth, not extravagance, not luxury, but beauty. Beauty is first of all cleanliness and simplicity, and then it is peace. When the tumult of the emotions has been stilled and the mind and the heart are at peace, And then as simply and naturally as the sun after a storm does beauty appear. Strive for beauty or strive for peace. They are two corridors to the same garden, and one leads into the other. But now I hear some of you young and eager ones, say, what about tomorrow? Tell us about the woman of tomorrow. A wise man once said, whenever destiny is about to bring forth a beautiful and wonderful era, the times immediately preceding are most difficult. Surely then we must stand on the brink of the golden era, for the present is indeed difficult. A multitude of problems burden the life and divide nations, states, communities, families. Every day brings news of commotions, confusions, misunderstandings, and misinterpretations. Life is filled with a multitude of petty lies. Everything fine and uplifting becomes in the eyes of ignoramus as something shameful and depreciating. Hypocrisy seems to prosper and sincerity to be despised. Observe these signs, brothers and sisters, and rejoice, for they herald the end of the age, and tomorrow a new era must begin. Actually, it is already here. In 1,000 secret ways it shows itself to the eyes that can see. And soon all will be aware that a new age, the golden age of woman, has arrived. In this golden age, women will excel in all things. They will lead in the arts and in the sciences, in politics and in finance, in the courts and in the government. It will be women who will sign the last peace treaty that ends the last war. This does not mean that all women will forsake their husbands and their children and go into business. Of course not. Woman is queen in the house, and what queen is so foolish as to give up her kingdom? But certain women, qualified by training and aptitude, will lead and excel men in the world arenas, where men up until now have been looked upon as superior. Others will become the most brilliant scientists and inventors, and still others will receive world acclaim as artists, sculptors, writers, and poets. By far the greater number of women will be homemakers just as they are today. But with their greater energy and superior intelligence, they will also participate in many other worthwhile activities. Certain dedicated women, for example, will examine and study our entire educational system, and on the basis of their judgments and recommendations, an entirely new approach to educating both children and adults will be adopted throughout the world. But probably the most dramatic changes and innovations stimulated and brought about by the woman of tomorrow will be in the religious field. Through the untiring efforts of certain dedicated women, people the world over, the masses, will come to know and expect an entirely new and much more realistic approach to God. Is this not a beautiful and inspiring destiny, oh my sisters? Is it not a goal worth striving towards? Do your part then, O tender ones, here and now. Seek to bring beauty into your lives, into your homes, and into the lives of those about you. By positive action, create peace in your hearts and minds, and manifest it clearly, as clear as the desert air at sunrise. In this way you will serve and earn for your daughters their golden legacy. And now I'd like to close with a quotation, a very beautiful quotation. Here it is. Reverence woman, mother of the universe. In her lies the truth of creation. She is the foundation of all that is good and beautiful. She is the source of life and death. Upon her depends the existence of man, because she is the sustenance of his labor. She gives birth to you in travail. She watches over your growth. Bless her, honor her, defend her. Love your wives and honor them, because tomorrow they shall be mothers and later progenitors of a whole race. Their love ennobles man, soothes the embittered heart, and tames the beast. Wife and mother, they are the adornments of the universe. So spoke Jesus the Christ in Jerusalem 2,000 years ago. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to share, like, subscribe, and comment. And if you can, please consider donating to Wars of the Rosies. Links to PayPal and Patreon are in the description. Thank you so very much.